Hey everyone, welcome to MT Guitar. Today I wanted to give you a sort of end of the year workout, something that can take you into the new year with some awesome new technique, also some nice fretboard theory along with it. It's always nice to combine the two, look at how the theory's working and then take a break from that and just work on your technique, work on your sound. So here we have triads in the key of C. Now what that means is we can make a triad off of every note of the key of C. So if I'm in C, first I'd want to find a C, something we should all be able to do. And we're going to move up the neck. So from here, if we just move up the C major scale, I'd have those notes staying on the B string, on the second string. So that's 1, 3, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. I happen to be fingering it that way. You can do any way you'd like. If we look at those notes and we say, well, we want to harmonize it, what does that mean? Well, in this case, it means let's just create C major triads, the triads that fall on each note. So we know that the 1 chord is major, so I make a C major triad by putting a third above it. If you don't understand the process of this, don't worry, just learn the triads for now and then you can sort of study it as you go. So we have a third above, that's an E note. The 5th below C is G. So we have happens to be the first 3 strings in a C chord, right? That's a second inversion triad. Then when I go to the next note, it's D. So we know that the 2 chord is minor, so I'd need a minor third, which is an F. Above that, perfect 5th below that, which is A. So I go from this to this, then I go up to E minor. So the 2 and 3 chords are both minor, so I can go up a whole step. That's convenient. Once you learn a couple things in music, you can sort of start to repeat it as you need. Now we have the 4 chord, and this is an F note, major third, okay? That's what a major third looks like between those 2 strings. And a perfect 5th. Looks like a D up 3 frets, doesn't it? So that's a 4 chord. The 5 chord's also major, so we can just move it up. 6 chord is minor. We recognize that shape from the D and E minor shapes. 7th chord is diminished. That means the 5th is diminished or flatted. So we know that the 5th would normally be right a fret below like it's been in the past, but now it's just 1 fret down. And then that's our 7 chord, so we're obviously at the end there. Here's our 1 chord up 12 frets. Whenever you're at the 12th fret, you kind of want to see, what did I just repeat from up here? Well, it's that. I went to the 2 chord in my exercise just to give it a little turnaround. So the whole exercise in sort of a block harmony like that would sound like this in a quarter note groove. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just went to the G just for my ear's sake. I like to have that little 5-1 at the end. So that would be second inversion triads up and down the neck. We know it's second inversion because each of these chords is starting with the 5th. All right. Now we can move down to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th strings and see that, if we isolate that from a C chord, we get E, G, C, or a first inversion, 3, 5, 1. So now we can have fun with this. When we go to D, we get the flat third as the bass. That's the flat third, and the 5th is still there. Move that up a whole step to the E minor. Now major, so F is major, so we know the 3rd can't be there, which is minor, so it's major. So just these little visualizations. If you can see that that's the major 3rd and this was the minor 3rd, now we can see the key for what it is and not just memorize where to put our fingers. You can always memorize where to put your fingers at the beginning, and then as soon as possible you kind of want to see what's going on here. So these are all first inversions. 4 chord goes up a whole step to the 5 chord. 6 chord is minor, 7 chord is diminished, 1 chord is major. We've made it 12 frets up. All right, there's our 1 chord. A little turnaround on the 2, back home. Don't have to go fast. Now in block harmony it would sound like this, 3, 4. Cool. Kind of sounds a little bit Christmassy, right? But, you know, we can just keep going in the strings. But I want to mention that really you start to have a little bit more fun even with arpeggios, because the block chords are nice, but it doesn't really show us how to play necessarily lead or melodies just with that alone. You kind of want to flesh it out and try other things. So we're going to try an arpeggio over that first exercise. You can do this with a pick or fingers. Both are very nice. I'm going to do fingers for now. I kind of like the sound of the fingers on this. So I'm going to go first, third, second, first for each triad. So it'll sound like this. Try to go for good sound here. At any given point, you might zone in on some areas that you'd like to. For instance, I might loop that to not only work on the technique, but just because it sounds nice. Give yourself permission to enjoy this. See, I messed up there, so maybe I want to zone in this 4-3. Maybe I'll skip some. I'm skipping from the 3 to the 5. I went to the 6 there. It's almost like I'm composing in a sense. Okay, so, you know, I've got a little bit of some reverb and tremolo on, so it's kind of inspired me to take a breath and enjoy this. So that's something you can also keep in mind, is that, you know, we have a tendency to race through exercises as if it's like a physical activity that, you know, needs to be done quickly. But on the contrary, actually, the slower we do it, the more sort of relaxed and not stressed, the better, generally, for our memory and our technique and our sound and just general well-being. I mean, it just helps you to enjoy what you're doing if you're sort of in a controlled, kind of a peaceful environment doing it. All right, so now the next 3 strings, same thing. I'm going to use my thumb on the 4th string because I tend to use the thumb on the 4th string. Otherwise, the technique is the same. Okay, this will all be written out on the Patreon as a tab and PDF. I recommend trying these to metronome. There's the open G triad at the very end there. It can also be done on the 5th, 4th, 3rd strings. So here's a C major. This is actually repositioned, so we can see how major 3rd, minor 3rd. Major 3rd, minor 3rd. All right, 1 chord, 2 chord. The minor 3rd is at the beginning now, and the major 3rd is at the end. So that's how major and minor chords look from the root position here. 1 chord, 2 chord, up a whole step, 3 chord. 4 chord, up a whole step, 5 chord. 6 chord, diminished, a little bit of a stretch. 1 chord. 2 chord turnaround, 1 chord. 7, 6, 5, 4. Don't have to go fast. 3, 2, 1, 5, 1. Just for a little turnaround. Arpeggiated would be like this. 3. Gets a little tricky on the bass strings, but very good for your technique. Finally, the last 3 strings, the 6th, 5th, 4th strings, we have a second inversion again. So just like we started with the second inversion, starting with the 5 or with the G, this is just literally an octave down. So we can follow the same, you know, technique and theory, not technique, but the same theory. Well, let me do a block harmony first. Major, major, minor, diminished, major, 5 chord there, 5/7 chord. All right, so now it's really nice to do this with, you know, arpeggiation. 4th, 6th, 5th, 4th. Same technique as before. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 chord, 5 chord, 6, 7, 2, 1. Probably going too fast. Go slower. So those are all 4 sets of strings, right? You got the first 3, the next 3, next 3, finally the 6th, 5th, 4th at the bottom. And we're just taking the key of C. And now, you know, again, 2 modes of practicing. You've got the, okay, let's see the Roman numerals. 1, 4, 5 are major, 2, 3, 6 are minor, 7's diminished. We're seeing that happen in the second inversion, first inversion, root position, and then second inversion again. Up and down the neck, all the way. Then we're seeing, okay, then we're taking a break from the theory and just creating good sound. Can we enjoy the sound? Maybe skip a couple triads. Maybe I'll go from, that's nice, that's 1, 3, 5. Maybe I'll go 1, 2, 1, 7. I don't know, just challenge myself to jump up and down and sort of see if I can hit the right triad. And might loop things as well, where I might go, you know, I just try to loop that. Now I'll arpeggiate it. Just try to make music with it. Right, so every time you learn something new on theory, you kind of want to go to town on it, give it your creative flavor, right? Music is sort of there for the taking if you want to mess around with it. It's sort of a playground, right? So we've just done 1 key. Bonus would be try it at another key. So if I said, okay, well, what about E? I would start with a first inversion, and then 4 and 5, 6, diminished, 1. So the same principles apply. I'm just starting on a first inversion. The triads look different, but they're there. Same with 2nd, 3rd, 4th strings. This is root position. Okay? And that will be the springboard to everything, you know, that's a little bit more complicated perhaps, using sevenths, doing, you know, whatever else you might want to do, whether it's sus kind of stuff or extensions. So rootless voicings, for instance, there's, you know, the list never ends, but this is the springboard from which you can go if you really want to get triads in a, you know, up and down the neck. There's other ways to do it. We could stay in one position, but this would just be across the fretboard. So just one way to look at it. Do check out the Patreon for a nice little exercise PDF on all this. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, a wonderful new year, and it's been great to share this year with you on MT Guitars. So remember to hit the bell icon, the thumbs up, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Go check out the Patreon, and you can check out to see if that's something that will work for you as far as having access to a bunch of lessons. Other than that, remember to enjoy your practice sessions and, you know, dig into what you enjoy. The more you're enjoying something, the quicker you'll learn it, the better you'll feel about playing guitar, and you'll practice more often. So sort of something I try to do is just, you know, when I sit down to play guitar, I really just want to make sure that whatever I'm enjoying in the moment gets top priority, whether it be a certain song or a certain theoretical exercise or just noodling. You know, sometimes noodling is totally the right thing to do because that's what you're finding enjoyment in, and then you'll find something new. Okay, so Happy New Year, everyone. Take care. Bye.